Alright guys, we're back with part 2, and right now, I did a live commentary with this, but it was so far behind, I don't know why, I gotta fix that, so I'll be doing commentary afterwards, and I mean, it was just really me telling the story, so I'm gonna get back into it. We left off where I was talking about the guy who fell asleep with his eyes open, and he did fall asleep with his eyes open, and the counselor was telling me that, you know, it is true, he knew him for many years, because he was there for a while, and that he fell asleep with his eyes open, and I was like, that's pretty cool, and people were taking pictures of it, and that was maybe around 1 a.m. or so, and so it's about 6 a.m., well, that was 1 a.m., and then I went up, like, to some gym platform thing, and some girl was like, oh, my boyfriend won't talk to me anymore. I'm like, okay, and I mean, I'm not gonna lie, I can't remember back then if she was hot or not, so, and she was like, will you lay here with me, Drew? I'm like, maybe, and then so, she's like, I lay down there for a second, and then it's like 6 a.m., everybody's like, come on, Drew, come outside. I'm like, alright, I'm gonna go outside, I'll see you in a little bit, and she goes, alright, so, we go outside, and we're having the meeting with the counselor, and he was like, I want to thank you all for coming. This lock-in was pretty good, probably the best one they've had in years, he said. And he thanks us for coming out, and I was like, oh, that's nice, that's pretty cool. So then, at that point, it was like 6 a.m., and instead of going back and sleeping with that girl, I went downstairs and talked to my bro, and I was like, you want to play some basketball? And he's like, nah, man, it's 6 a.m., I'm probably going to go to sleep. I'm like, yeah, me too. So we all fall asleep in this little section near a TV where it's 4 couches, and right there, I almost got the goal, but we almost fall asleep, but I did, and it was like 6 a.m., and I was like, oh my god, I gotta go to sleep. So I fall asleep with my book bag in my lap, and I'm like hugging it like a pillow, and I'm like falling asleep, and my head's tilted back over the couch. Now watch this right here. Goalie hits it once, I get it back, try to shoot for it, and then I miss it, and then it comes out, and I get it the third time. And that took me a while to get, and the reason I redid this commentating was because I watched this part, and the part where I was talking about this happened 30 seconds before it actually happened. So I had no idea, I've never had this problem before with my program, so I'm just going to let it do its thing. I might have to commentate the next gameplay that's coming up too, so it might be coming out tomorrow, now that I have to commentate all of these, but you never know. But, I went back there, and I fell asleep. My head was over the couch, like, on the back of it. So, I was in perfect position to snore. Like, right now, hold your head back as far as you can, and start breathing in. You can tell you're definitely going to snore. And I was snoring, I was like, oh my god, I just kept snoring, and then, I finally wake up, and it's like 8 a.m., and this girl is lying on the couch next to mine. No, sorry, it was like 9 a.m., and I was like, what time is it? And she's like, it's 9 a.m. I'm like, how long was I asleep for? And she was like, about, 3 hours or so. I was like, oh my god. But it was actually like 9:30 or something like that. Because, right there, that goal was me, and I kicked my own player down. But at that point, I was just like, alright, I'm gonna, probably go talk to these other guys. She's like, alright. So I don't know where the other girl went that wanted me to lay down with her. I think she left, like, an hour or two before I woke up. So I was just like, oh man, what happened, guys? And like, you fell asleep and were snoring the whole time. Like, why didn't you wake me up? People are walking through the door right next to you. Oh, and I gotta get a drink of my water. My throat's been killing me. Yep, and he scored there and started masturbating in the air. Yep, so after that, I was really talking to my friends about how it should have woken me up, and then I was wearing a white shirt that said Element on it, because I was going to go skateboarding later at the skate park, and then the counselor makes me pick up this thing full of like red Kool-Aid to pour it out, because I was the strongest kid there, and of course it gets all over my red shirt, because the top wasn't on. I'm like, really? You couldn't check to make sure the top was put on, and you made it spill all over. He's like, oh, sorry about that. I was like, okay, whatever. So, my mom picks me up at like 10 a.m., and she's like, you ready to go to the skate park? I'm like, yeah. So then there was the two ramps at the 45-degree angles, one at the north and one at the south, and there was a thing in the middle, a ramp you could go up, and like you could grind on it and then kind of ollie it and come back, or go to the flat top and like kickflip on it and shit like that, and he scored again. And because really during this gameplay I was talking the whole time and telling the story, and I really wasn't focused on scoring. And so we get there and we're about there for an hour, and my mom, all she's doing is like, she's reading magazines because, you know, she really has nothing to do. It's a skate park. What is she gonna do? And so I skated, and then I never went to the thing in the middle. I just kept going back and forth on the two giant ramps. And I go to the thing in the middle right before we leave, and Mom's like, "Come on, we gotta go." So it's a kind of like it's steeper, the ramp, and at the top there's a rail that you can grind on. So I go up it, and I come back down, and I'm like, "Mom, hold on, can I at least try to get up it before I before we have to go?" And she's like, "Yeah, take your time." So I keep trying to get up it, and it's not working, and I'm like, "Okay, Mom, I have an idea." And she goes, "Alright." So I get on the south side, because the north side was the 45-degree ramp going down, and the thing in the middle going up, and then the other side was another ramp on the 45-degree on the south side. So on the south side, I go down that ramp, and then I hit the north side ramp and go all the way to the top, but before I have to stop, I do a little curve, and I'm going straight down, and I hit that little ramp, and my front wheels go over the rail, and I thought I made it. My second wheels the back wheels were about to come up, and they just barely almost got up, and then they didn't. So I started fall. So I actually kind of went up in the air because of kind of what happened, because the front wheels hit the rail, and I kind of jerked forward. So I'm up in the air. My skateboard is still kind of hanging there, and it kind of starts going down. I fall down. My foot hits the middle of the skateboard and slides back because it had set that angle, and I hit it so hard, and I'm falling forward like straight to my face now, and I put my hand out real quick, and I hit my wrist, and it went, and I was like, oh. My mom's like, "You okay?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'm fine." And I was like, "Mom, I think I broke my wrist." And she's a nurse. She goes, "It looks fine. It doesn't look like it's broken." I'm like, "Mom, it's really broken." And full time, I didn't win the game, but the rest of the time was me telling you the story. And I was like, "Mom, I really do think it's broken." And she's like, "We'll go home and put some ice on it." So that's when I used to live out, kind of in the country of Virginia. But we had this kind of big mansion-y house. So we're going out there, and the road is really far from anything. So we're going there, and I'm like, "Mom, I think it's broken. Can we turn around and go back?" She goes, "Sure." So we go back, and we go to one of the on-call places where she works at. Not a hospital, but it's like, something for casts and to get things like that. So they take an x-ray of it, and the lady says, "You, in the middle of my wrist, not on the outside parts, but right in the middle, I made a crack. So I had to wear a cast from my wrist to my elbow, and it was the most annoying thing because I had to wear it for 3 months, and I had to put a garbage bag over my arm to take showers because I couldn't get wet." But yeah, this video ends at 9 minutes and 2 seconds, so I'll probably wait here until like 8:50ish, and then probably say my goodbyes. So thanks for watching. Remember to comment, like, and rate, and subscribe, and all the good stuff. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Thanks.